What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mind of Mateo. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are back with video. Yes, I've got the video set up. We're going to be uploading the videos of the podcast right to YouTube. Just search for the channel Mind of Mateo. You'll go ahead and see the video of the podcast, of the audio version. Of course, the audio version can be found anywhere that you listen to podcasts, pretty much. So if you want to support me in any way or support this channel, just go ahead and share it out to some people. Hopefully it can help some people. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just want to be able to help people with some personal experiences of mine and work through some things. It's been interesting. I am coming up in the month of my first son's birth. He's due August 27th, and it's an exciting time. We've got a lot of things going on at the moment, and getting ready to build the nursery, the crib, and all that kind of stuff. And we're super excited. It's definitely starting to hit me more right now. It's becoming more and more real as we start getting the baby's clothes ready, we start getting the room ready, we start getting the car seat and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be exciting times. I want to definitely do some podcasts on parenting stuff, and even some relationship stuff, marriage things. My wife and I are putting a podcast together, a couples podcast that can hopefully help some people out and entertain some people too as well. As I move forward, I am learning how valuable time is. Time is something where when you're first starting out, I'd say it feels like there's too much time on your hands. People are always trying to fill time, right? They're bored. They're looking for ways to try and make time pass quicker, right? And what I've learned is, as you make your time more valuable, it starts to switch, right? You go from looking and trying to have time pass by faster to trying to make time slow down or stretch time. Does that make sense? So you end up trying to make more time in a way, because it seems like there's never enough time to get things done. And so as you make things more valuable, that's kind of what I've been seeing. Now, I want to apologize ahead of time. I have a new puppy. Her name is Denali, as well as my other Boston Terrier, Delilah. And they're here with me as my wife works in the other office. So if you hear some snoring in the background, just two little Boston Terriers sleeping in the corner. So, but going back to time, what I've realized is just time is so precious, and as you make your time become worth more money, more resources, you'll start to notice how priorities shift, right? And one thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and one thing that I have found increasingly helpful, is the word no. What do I mean by that? When a lot of people, a lot of times, will feel obligated to agree to things, to say yes, to say okay, to just volunteer their time without knowing what the actual cost of that guarantee is, or that yes. And so I had an issue with saying no a lot of the times. And I noticed this because I just didn't want to come off as either confrontational, or I didn't want to offend people, or I felt unsure or slightly insecure in myself. And so I went along with it, and I would say yes. And what I noticed is, anytime you say yes, you are actually also saying no. What do you mean by that, Mateo? Well, anytime you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to every other possibility that could have filled that gap of time, right? So, you have somebody come up to you and they say, hey, bro, can you help me with this? Or, hey, can you help me with that? Or maybe, can you help me do this? Or, can you go look over my business, this? Whatever it may be, as soon as you say yes, you do one of two things. You, one, have just enacted your character, right? If you say yes and then you don't show up, you look like a flake. So it's a hit to your character. So you've just put a constraint on your character. It means you're obligated. Now you have to show up. Now you have to do it, because if not, it's a hit on your character, and that doesn't look good, and we don't ever want to compromise our character, right? And the other thing is, you say yes to something, you say no to every other opportunity. So you while it may seem like, oh, I'm just filling time, oh, I wasn't going to do anything anyways, you don't know what opportunity may come up between now and then. I've seen this so many times where somebody will say, and I've done this myself, they'll say yes, and then a huge opportunity comes up in between the time they said yes and when the actual event is to occur. And there is the loss of opportunity. And then you have this tough decision between compromising your character, as little as it seems or as small as it seems, and the potential miss and opportunity cost, right? So what you need to learn how to do is, and this is something that I'm still working on, but it is increasingly helpful. Just default to no, right? So just default to no. It sounds so simple, uh, because it is. It's not easy all the time. For some people, it's easier than others. I don't like saying no, but I need to, right? Because if not, what happens is you don't know, and this is what I'm learning. You don't know the cost of missed opportunity, and also increasingly learning, you never want to put yourself where you're in a position to compromise your own character, no matter how small it is, because small compromises in character lead to larger compromises in character, and there's no fighting that. There's no way to get around that. So just learn to say no. Hey, Mateo, can you blah, 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 blah? No, I'm sorry. Sorry, bro. Sorry, sis. Can't do it. Hey, can you do this, this day and volunteer your time? It'll only be like an hour or two. No, I don't think I can. Let me check my schedule. I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't know. Why? Because anytime you say no, let me back it up. A lot of people will make things seem very important, and it doesn't mean they're not important, but they'll make things seem more important than what they actually may be. So when you say no, if it wasn't that important to begin with, you flush that out, right? You flush it out, because what happens is you say no, they say, oh, okay, and they go on to the next person. And if they just needed a body to show up, do something, whatever it might be, right? Then cool, they'll still find that someplace else. It's no problem. No, no skin off your back, nothing like that, right? But if so you filter out all the non-important or non-critical things. I won't say non-important, but just the things that aren't critical, you filter it out immediately by saying no. Now, if somebody comes back and says, oh, man, but I really need you to do this, blah, blah, or I'd really like you to do this, or I need your help, or whatever it means. Okay, cool. Now I think about it, because I've already said no once, and now they're trying to show me what value that thing is going to bring, why I should help that, why I should do this thing, why I should go to this place, why should I attend this event or this seminar or this class or whatever it might be. And I start looking at that. Okay, so now there's a bit of passion behind it. There's a bit of urgency. So let me investigate a little bit deeper. I've already said no once. Let me take a look again. And then I'll probably say no again. Or I could say yes. But that initial no is going to filter out a lot of the different things that may not be as big or as important as people make them sound. And so to go from that to go from there, just say no, learn to default to that, and watch how you have bigger and better opportunities that come up, or you have more opportunity to fill that time with something else as you start to learn later in that week. Now, I'm not saying never do anything. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying learn to say no and don't feel pressured into giving your time for anything that comes up, because that's not needed, right? And once you start to value and increase the value of your time, you'll start to notice how it seems like you always need to make more of it, right? So go ahead, go forward this week. Be a little bit disagreeable. Don't be afraid to say no. Say no to a few things, and watch how you have more time pop up in your week for other areas where you can increase your life. All right? I'll talk to you later. Have a good one, and until the next time.